What's up? Welcome back. In case you are just joining us, my name is Jane Boy. Glad you have chosen to continue with us on this Tuesday conversations that we are having here in studio. We want to move on to the next conversation, but before we do that, remember we'd absolutely love to know where you're watching us from. So check in on Twitter using the hashtag Good Morning Kenya. Our official station handle ever remains to be at KBC Channel 1, and do tag my colleagues and I at Doreen Range, at Ray Manyara, and at Jane Wamboy is how you can find us across all the social media platforms. And just to send out love to all who have already checked in, I see Lydia Kenyanjui, there is Kanini Mwaura, I see Kareze, there is Caleb Soy, thank you for tuning in. I also see Mtonajita Chelsea updates. Thank you so much. Michelle Kehu, Robert, who's also tuned in all the way from Kayole, thank you so much. Liz and Ash, thank you so much for tuning in. Do let us know where you are watching us from. Once again, hashtag is Good Morning Kenya. So we move on to the next conversation, and we are on to our Women at the Forefront segment, all about women who are doing fantastic things to break that glass ceiling that society has put there to limit our efforts and all that we are trying to do to change the narrative. And we have one lady with us in studio this morning. She is Winnie Kabintie. There she is on your screen. Team Natural Kamisitu. Winnie Kabintie. She is a youth media advocate as well as a gender advocate. Hi, Winnie.
Hi, Jen.
Good morning. Karibu sana to Good Morning Kenya.
Thank you.
You could start by maybe saying hi to our viewers and giving us the social media handles.
Hello, hi, I'm Winnie Kabintie. On Twitter, you can find me at Winnie Kabintie, on Facebook as well, and Instagram at Winnie Kabintie.
It's Kabintie, not Kabintie. You know?
It's Kabintie, actually.
Oh, Kabintie. Oh, okay, yeah. So I wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
We are very particular with people's name. Najua kuna watu nasemanga jina yao wrong and they can sue you. So Winnie Kabintie.
Yes.
All right. So you can check her out on social media. If you have any questions that you feel you want to direct to her, you can do so on her social media platforms. So let's get to know you a bit better before we get to this amazing journey and project that you have been on. Who is Winnie in a nutshell?
In a nutshell, Winnie Kabintie is change agent.
Yes.
That's in a nutshell. I'm passionate about impacting my community and particularly being a voice to the voiceless and empowering the youth to become active citizens.
Yes. And where did all this stem from? Is it from something that happened to you, or something that you witnessed, or something that was really bugging you that is very normal, very casual in this society?
I think I would say it stems from my childhood, and that is what informed my career in media. I've always been that kid who speaks up for people.
Yes.
And I've always been that person who refuses to look away when there's an injustice. So I always got into trouble defending other people. And so, yeah, I just decided to escalate it further when now I grew up and got into the career field.
Yes.
Yes.
And at what point did this whole conversation about, menstrual hygiene management and issues to do with sanitary challenges that so many young girls face come into the picture?
This came into the picture sometimes in 2018.
Yeah.
So what happened is that I leverage on social media a lot. I'm just keen on the digital media space.
Yes.
So in 2018, a story went viral on social media. It was done by a journalist from Tuko, and she highlighted the plight of women in street families, particularly in the Majengo slums, and their access to menstrual products. So I remember when I saw the story, I just couldn't let it slide. The way you see a story and like, oh, this is happening and that's it. So I thought, okay, actually I have never thought about how the less privileged people manage menstruation. So I realized, actually, this packet of sanitary towels, it's one of those things that in our day-to-day monthly shopping, it's very insignificant. You don't pay attention to it.
For most people.
Exactly. And then I realized realize, oh my God, this is actually a luxury. Because if you look at majority of our population, we survive below $1 in a day.
Yes.
And on average, a packet of sanitary towel goes for 50 bob. So if you are surviving, if you even have 100 bob as a family, you need to buy unga, you need to buy sugar, mboga. At what point will you buy pads? And maybe you have more than 2 girls in the family. So I decided to mobilize guys on social media and donate towards these families. So it became a big deal, and we started actually with the hashtag Just a Pad. It became a big deal. The woman rep joined us, and we went to Majengo. But then when I got there, I thought at first it would just be, you donate and that's it.
And I'd love to hear the actual situation that you found on ground. Just paint for us a picture, at least for even who is watching us at home, to understand what you saw firsthand.
Exactly. So then when we went there, of course, we found the group of women, and this was in a particular, in the slums, they call them bays, or in street families, they call them bases. So this is where they reside. It's a corner in a part of the community. So we found a lot of mature women and young girls as well. So we gave them the sanitary towels, and I remember some of them were actually telling us, we need more than just the sanitary towels, because you see, that's just one. It's like giving them fish.
Component, yeah.
Exactly, and then that will last them for maybe that month and the next month, and then what's next? Yeah, and then I also realized they were dealing with a lot of reproductive health issues. Like I remember one girl also approached me and she said, thank you for bringing these products, but could you please pass by maternity women's, which was just around the corner, and just take some and baby clothes to one of our friends. She's given birth last night and she doesn't have anything. And so now you can imagine, so we went there thinking it's just this, but you realize there's a lot of reproductive health issues. You also realize the women are extremely, for lack of a better word, fertile. Because you see, one, they are homeless, and maybe someone has 5 kids or even 2 kids. So you realize they actually need a sustainable campaign or a solution that seems to sensitize them around reproductive health issues and even menstruation, because menstruation is not all about getting a pad and that's it. It's about menstrual hygiene management. It's also about how you dispose the waste. Otherwise it goes and pollutes our environment.
Becomes an environmental issue.
Exactly.
And I'd like for us to talk a bit about some of those issues that are in this conversation, and more so looking at these ladies that you were able to interact with. And one thing that clearly is evident and is a concern is the lack of information revolving around fertility issues, sexual and reproductive rights, as well as menstrual hygiene management. As it is, there clearly is a gap. What more do you feel can be done to just try and get the information, something that is free, to these young girls and ladies who are in that space, in a way that they will understand and put it to practice?
Great. Indeed, that is quite a major challenge. And I feel like the biggest intervention that we can do now is first acknowledging that, yes, there is a problem. And again, tailoring solutions first in a language that these demographics understand. Because we'll have a lot of publications that are in so much English.
Going there with pamphlets,
Samayo. Nini, tumia condom, and you are not telling them why, so I think we need to tailor the language in a way that these people understand it. And also the people who are communicating this information, are they communicating it from a friendly level, or are you just sitting there on a high horse and just judging your people? Exactly. So and that's why for us at Just a Pad, we use the pad actually as a connection. So like, because menstruation is a monthly affair, so every month as we interact with these women, as you're giving them, you create some sort of friendship with them. So they find it easy to come and relate to you. You find it easy when a girl comes and tells you, I'm itching, what can I do? And you're able to advise them on even how to manage themselves, how to clean up, or even where to go and seek medical attention. Because the other challenge that we've also seen is that, and maybe this is something we've also grown up with, as much as some of us are from maybe better privileged families. For a girl, until the time you become grown up and you go for your own gynecological appointment, we are hardly given any reproductive health services at all. So yeah, I think this is something we also need to recognize and understand that I think once a girl reaches puberty, there are a lot of reproductive health situations. So we need to come up with also very youth-friendly services as well, so that if I go as a teenager to a clinic right now, I won't be told, unataka family planning ya nini na wewe sio mama.
I completely understand that, because even for so many grown-up women, a visit to the gyna is just inakujanga na pressure. And this is a whole grown-up person, so you can imagine a young 14, 16-year-old who may be going through reproductive challenges and they are not in a space where they can comfortably go to see a professional for that matter. So I completely agree with that. We need to have teen-friendly visits and conversations with professionals. Now, excuse me, another aspect that I'd like to understand its role in this whole conversation about menstrual hygiene management and the project that you have been on is the issues to do with poverty and finances, and how it has contributed to the challenges that these young girls are facing in that space.
Agreed. Indeed, poverty is one of the biggest contributors of teenage pregnancies. And this is because, as we said, if you look at our economic status as a country, it's not really that good. Majority of us live below the poverty line. And so, yes, the government has a very nice program, the National Free Primary Sanitary Towels Program, which targets kids in primary school. For now, the plan is to have everyone covered in high schools and other institutions. But for now, it's primary schools. But again, we have seen that these products are not even reaching these kids.
Availability is another question.
Exactly. And then there's also graft associated with it in the cause of that, thanks to our country. So, yes, so accessibility of these products becomes a challenge. So you find a girl, yes, she's there. The situation is there. There's no way to run around menstruation. It has come. What do you do? First, you need to contain yourself. And if you don't have the right materials, you end up either getting an infection or you end up smelling. So first, they do not want to deal with that. They are girls. They are at that period where they are so self-conscious. You know, that stage as a girl, you mind everything, how people perceive you. So what do? You know some guy somewhere, either it's that boda rider or that makanga or just any man who seems to have something and he can offer you that. Then that's how girls are falling into this. Others are ending up either dropping out of school and taking up jobs just to afford the basic things.
Transactional sex is a reality that so many young girls have to deal with.
Exactly.
A sad reality for that matter. And this brings me to the next aspect, issues to do with cultural barriers. Is it something that you found to be a problem in the particular area that you were in? Or, because we know in some parts of the country, culture has become such a hindrance to so many young girls, and especially where menses are involved. Is it something that you saw was a problem, or it's not much of a problem where you were?
Not much for now, because mostly we are in Nairobi and the culture is a bit different. But then I would say in some way, yes, because people are not so receptive to other forms of menstruation products. Yes, we know the sanitary pads are the common ones, but you know, we have things like tampons, and we have also things like the reusable sanitary towels. And now if you look at most of our communities, for us, even as much as we try and give these sanitary kits, sometimes it's not sustainable, because first, the project is self-funded, finances are a challenge. So sometimes you might want to ask girls, you know, you're looking at the situations they are in and you're like, it's okay, just have at least 2 reusable sanitary towels that you can, you know, keep as a backup when you don't have this. But then people are feeling, and you still understand, yes, you still understand, but then I think people need to open up their minds, because even we have other things like tampons, and I've come to learn
menstrual cups these days.
Menstrual cups as well, exactly. And you know, I even came to learn that things like menstrual cups and the tampons, they really help a lot, especially for people who have extreme heavy flows. So I think people need to just change their mindsets. Stick to the
traditional way of doing things.
Exactly. Exactly.
And all right, let's talk a bit about, the role that our women leaders are playing in all this. You had mentioned that you had the opportunity to even have the women rep join you, but was this just a one-time affair, and are they really involved? Do we have enough women leaders who are actually going down to the ground, the actual ground, and seeing the situation that so many young girls have to deal with on a daily? Honestly speaking,
I think when politicians intervene in such situations, it's usually most of the time due to the sensation and the publicity around such crises. Exactly. But I wish we could have more sustained approaches, because I remember, like, even at that time, we were really keen on installing collection bins around most of the malls, just to get donations. It's easy when you're doing your shopping and you buy sanitary towel and drop compared to sending people money. And at that time, we were even seeking for the support of the county at that time, and things just went hush. So I wish people would, the leaders would just be more proactive into this. Even for the National Free Sanitary Towels program, they are the best custodians, because they are women. They understand how these things are happening. So they are the ones who should even ensure that in schools these products are getting there. So without their input, we can have all the nice policies and these programs, but they just remain just nice figures on paper. Now, you have mentioned the role of the county government, and for some, one might argue that they are quite detached. They are not as alive to the situation, because they may be like, okay, we'll give you sanitary towels, but then this is somebody who just doesn't need a sanitary towel. They need an undergarment to hold that sanitary towel. And that is not something that maybe someone there in a leadership position may be alive to. How then do you feel they can effectively be part of this conversation and actually contribute in a way that benefits this young girl, in a way that they feel this is actually helping me, and not just shining their name up Ivoju, saying that they helped and glorifying them? I think the main way would be working with the CSOs and CBOs, the community-based organizations that are involved in these things. Like now, if you look at the government might not be everywhere. Yes, you have the policies, they've done their part, but when it comes to the evaluation, wale watu wako kwa ground, they should work with such initiatives, like even ours, because now we are on the ground, we are interacting with these people on a day-to-day basis, so we are able to identify some of their other plights and challenges they struggle with. So I think it requires for a collaborative approach between the government and the non-governmental organizations.
All right. Now, for those who are watching us this morning and they're wondering how they can be part of this, and also just looking at also not just giving them sanitary towels, because therein also comes the question of quality. I know as women, there's a time kulikuwa na hiyo conversation ilikuwa imewaka moto on social media regarding the quality of sanitary towels that is available in the market, because some sanitary towels are used and they bring secondary issues with them. So maybe someone is watching us this morning and they want to contribute to the cause. What forms of assistance do you feel are necessary for this conversation?
Particularly for our initiative?
Yes.
Great. So first, other than the menstrual health and sensitization, we run a teen mentorship program, and we focus on areas such as career guidance, mental health. So we are always in need of young professionals who can come in and offer guidance to these teenagers. So you can connect with us on social media at Just a Pad Initiative on Facebook, at Just a Pad K on Twitter and on Instagram as well. Also, you can reach out to me from Winnie Kabintie on social media. And as far as these sanitary kits are concerned,
we'll be getting to that in a bit, because we also want to understand the contents they're in, how much a package costs, for even somebody to be able to actually contribute and say, I helped 5 girls, and hold you accountable.
You
know? So maybe let's just even get into that. You have the hashtag is Just a Pad on social media. You can be able to just search in Just a Pad and understand the conversation that has been ongoing for quite some time now. And you go around giving young girls this particular package. What is in there?
So here, We call it the dignity kits, and the reason why we had this, it's because it at least safeguards the dignity of someone, other than just giving in a packet of sanitary towel, a packet of underwear and soap. So usually, depending on availability of products, we have 2 packets of sanitary towels, 2 pieces of underwear and soap. For the soap, most of the time we try and have the all-purpose soap, because again of the nature of these communities we reach out to, at least if you have all-purpose, someone, and then it's bigger, so someone can decide to cut it. One goes for showering and a bit goes to something else, because there's really, the situation is dire. If you go to those communities, you'll notice. Yes.
On average, how much does a package cost on your end?
On our end, one sanitary kit, we will say about 150 shillings. Yeah, because we get the contents in bulk, wholesale prices, so we will estimate it to be around 150 shillings.
150 shillings.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe if you're watching us this morning and you want to help a young girl out there, it will only cost about 150 Kenya shillings to assist one young lady be better dignified. Go onto social media, check the hashtag #JustAPad, see the initiative, see how you can come into this conversation. And again, it's not just about the financial or material provision. You can also go and just talk to these young girls, give information. Information is power. Give them the information that they need to know on how to take care of themselves, and especially once they hit puberty. Remind us of your social handles once more, so that our viewers can interact with you further, even post this conversation.
At Winnie Kabintie on Twitter, at Winnie Lando Kabintie on Facebook, Winnie Kabintie on Instagram.
So if they want to contribute to the cause, that is how they can be able to get in touch.
Yes, and the hashtag is #JustAPad.
All right. Thank you so much, Winnie. That is all the time we had for this particular conversation. But we wish you the best as you continue with this beautiful journey to just make our young girls feel comfortable in the spaces that they are in. She is Winnie Kabintie. She is a youth media advocate as well as a gender advocate, and also championing for the hashtag #JustAPad. Check them out on social media and support however you can. All right, so we have come to the end of this particular segment, but we're not yet done with Good Morning Kenya. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.